Greetings, traveler. Working in the games industry, this is a topic that comes extremely often. Will AI kill the games industry? Will AI kill video games? By that, I mean, will AI eventually get to a point that it can generate automatically games that are so good that people will no longer be involved in the process? AI will magically create these wonderful games in exactly the flavor that you want, and there will be nothing for game designers to do. There will be nothing for artists to do. Codes already showing promising results with AI, so nobody will need coders anymore. So are we going into a future, or is that future already here, that AI will just take over all these roles and there will be nothing left for humans to do? So today I want to give my thoughts on this. My name is Xanthos. I've been working in the games industry for over 13 years now. And actually, I did study artificial intelligence back in university. We took several courses in neural networks and biological algorithms and all the stuff that we use today to make AI super, super cool. I just studied it back when it was not cool and it was very bare bones and grassroots, but still mostly of the same stuff that we use today. So, will AI completely kill our games and will games become completely inhuman? Um, how can we know this, right? How can we create an answer? How can we reason about this topic in a meaningful way? First of all, we cannot know the future. So even if the answer is yes or no, we can't know until we get there. At the moment, there's a lot of people working on making games, so it doesn't seem like we're quite there yet. And games mostly consist of these four areas, right? So the game design, so the discipline that is all about creating the rules of the game, the narrative, the story, and so on, all the invisible stuff, essentially. And then there's art, which creates all the 2D and 3D graphics that we see in games. There is the code that makes the game function on a computer type of device, so your computer, your phone, and so on. All these things need code to run, for the application to run. Somebody needs to provide that code. And finally, we have sound. So the sound needs to be put there by someone, a person or an AI, if that's the future that waits us or something like that. But we need these elements. For games to be a commercial product, we need way, way more things like that. We need people to plan the project and people to manage the project of the game. We need people to market the game, and we need people to look after its financials and all the typical functions you have for any product out there other than games, like shampoo and food and, I don't know, chairs and whatever. So all products need this. Since games are a product themselves, they will need it. So for AI to completely take all of that over, that's a big job. So I don't think it's quite there at the moment. It doesn't seem so. And for it to get there, yeah, that's a really big task. But what can we relate all this situation to that will help us get a better understanding of it and see perhaps where this industry is heading for in the future? I want to relate two stories here that I was exploring with friends recently and found really, really insightful when considering this topic. So, story one, I was discussing with a friend who is himself an artist whether there's any point to outsourcing art to artists, whether we can just generate it all with AI. Um, what's the point of hiring a really expensive human when AI can do it practically for free? And my friend sort of, chuckled at my comments. Of course, I was playing devil's advocate, but still, this is an important topic that I was looking for a specific answer to. And he said, well, AI can make very impressive things, but there's no purpose in it. There's no direction. I'm like, well, what do you mean? The art that I see AI make is pretty impressive. I ask it to make a fighter with a sword, for example, and the fighter looks really cool. So that's good, right? It's like, well, not really, because it looks good because honestly, I am not an artist, so I wouldn't know what high level and low level art is. I'm judging all the AI results with the eyes of a just a normal person, I suppose. So I wouldn't know from a trained artist's perspective, a professional artist's perspective, what is good and what is bad about AI generated art. So He said that, well, when we create art, it's all filled with purpose. So whether we're creating a character, an environment, a vehicle, or whatever, every color, every line is picked to convey an emotion and a message. When we draw a car, for example, there's all these things we might want to express in that image. Maybe we want to make the car look fast, or we want the car to look cool, or we want the car to look like the car of a villain, so we make it look all brooding and scary. Um, so if you ask the AI to make a car, yes, it can make an impressive image, but there's no guarantee it will be able to convey these things in the best way possible to affect our target audience. And these are typically the things artists can really go into. And he also said, well, a lot of people think that AI might not be the best source for high quality images, but a lot of people think it's pretty fast, right? You can get results pretty quickly. Now, people don't really discuss that AI requires a lot of iteration to get to a good result. So there's very little chance that with the first prompt you make to AI, you will get exactly the results you want in an image. So you have to make a lot of generations. How long is that going to take? Well, that's an unknown. But yeah, he said that they had a similar situation in his company. He also works for a game company. And he said our CEO requested character concept art and he needed it quite quickly. So, of course, many people said that, okay, if we need something really quickly, so within just a few hours, then probably let's sit down with AI and let's generate something. But one of the artists in the team said she could probably put something together. And in about 4 hours or so, she came up with a professional level, high quality, polished, purposeful, in the right direction design of the character that the CEO required. So I don't know. Again, I don't know how many wizard prompt engineers there are out there, but for a final product, 4 hours sounds pretty competitive to me. Um, so definitely we're not there at the point right now where we can just outsource all of AI to rather all of art to AI and get professional grade results that will incite the emotion we want in our players and will not just look good on a generic level. So that's one story I wanted to share. The other one is AI has been around in more specialized technical fields for many, many years now. So when I was back in university and we were studying AI and its applications back then, which was uh, almost 20 years ago. So back then we were talking about doctors and how doctors, when a patient comes in, there's all these things that could be wrong with that patient's health. Maybe there's a virus, maybe there's a failing organ, maybe there's an underlying unique DNA condition that's just unique and unprecedented in that specific person. So even with lots of experience, even for a doctor, it would be really, really difficult to accurately diagnose everything all the time. My sister is a certified psychiatrist, so she tells me about this as well, that a very important part in the process is a discovery of each individual and what's unique to that individual. So you can't really use your knowledge to make an instant generalized guess. There is this need to look into it more. So what were we using AI for in medicine back then already? If you have a very specific condition that you need to diagnose, then if there is an AI trained in that specific condition, then it can perform better than doctors. But being specific is the key here. AI back then, and I'm sure nowadays as well, cannot make instant judgments based on too many variables, because too many variables will throw it off since it's trained for something specific. And the trend that we see from back then and until now is that the more specialized an AI is for a given task, the better it can perform. And asking a single tool to do all the jobs is usually a recipe for disaster. So what is the end state of that? Now that we have these AI tools to accurately diagnose this or that condition, did we get rid of doctors? Did all hospitals shut down? Did society stop training, stop paying, stop using doctors? Does that mean that if you could go see a doctor and you could see a machine to treat you, you would choose the machine 100% of the time? I don't know. I don't know what the answer for everybody out there is, but I do know that as I'm looking out of my window right now, I see a couple of hospitals and they're full of doctors. So at least at the moment, we're not quite there yet. And we weren't there 20 years ago when AI was already being used to diagnose several difficult to understand conditions. It also shows us that humans use these tools to do their normal work, and their normal work spans way beyond doing one specific task well. So, an example that always comes to my mind is, let's say you have the perfect AI that can generate the perfect images, and you're working in a game company. Who is going to use that AI in practice? Does that mean that the CEO of the company is going to sit down every time an image is necessary and start prompting and try to get the right thing? Given how important the CEO's work is for the company in general, it doesn't sound like this would be the absolute best use of the CEO's time. Probably somebody who knows about art would use this tool to make their job easier, or at least to judge the results. When people are using AI for coding nowadays, there needs to be someone to check the result. If you just use what the AI spat out without checking it, then there might be bugs in there, or there might be other repercussions in the system long term. So maybe this single piece of code is correct, but because of the rest of the code that exists in the system, maybe this will create a conflict, and uh, this will lead to many, many dangerous situations if it's a real world application. So this part, this separation of what the AI and what the machine cares about and what humans care about is a huge distinction, I think, in this case. So we can relate to other humans much more easily than we can relate to non-humans, so to speak. Not always, but it seems to be this way for most people out there. We feel that if we're talking to someone who has aligned interests and aligned goals and aligned worries and in a similar situation as us, relating to that person and working together with that person is better than doing the same with someone who doesn't share all these things. And we say it with humans, right? People who um, have similar interests with us, they make us feel that we can cooperate to achieve great things together. But people who have opposing interests to us make us not want to work together with them. And why is this important? Well, imagine you have a computer that can use this amazing AI to achieve all these things. Well, what is the computer's priorities? Usually nothing. Usually it's just to achieve the task you coded it to achieve, to like make nice images or to make nice code and so on. There's no consideration for the computer's desires or needs, or even if there was, they're completely different from humans. Humans just care about different things. Even though technology has advanced so much over time, humans haven't really. We still require our physical body to traverse the world, and we still derive enjoyment from doing so. So, for the moment, for my understanding of the topic right now, it seems that even if AI gets quite evolved and it gets to do all these things really, really well, it seems that still humans will be part of the process. For games, that means that yes, perhaps the AI can create a very good mechanic or can automatically adjust game balance to suit a player. There's already some games that do that and have been doing that for years. Um, but still, humans are involved in that process, and humans, in the very least, need to check the results of the AI and connect with other humans to bring the game to them, collect feedback, understand what's good or what's bad, or from the game. And let's not forget that humans are the ones that reap the benefit of having something, of using something created by the AI. So humans will, at the very least, be involved in that process, but uh, definitely way, way more, especially when it comes to originality. I think um, it seems that by the nature of AI, since it's trained on so many existing things, it can create derivative things, but it's not great at creating original things. Humans seem to be always capable of coming up with the craziest ideas out there, at least for now. So, very interesting to see where it goes. I'm also very interested to hear what you think about this topic, and if you've seen some area in games that has already been taken over by AI and there's no way humans could contribute anything more to that. I would really, really be interested to know about it. So please let me know. Anyway, that's it for today. And as always, have fun.